Hi everyone, welcome to SFGconnect Basic Training 2. My name is Deb Tran and I'll be going through today's demo with you. So let's start off with today's agenda. What we'll be doing is continuing on from our lead at our session yesterday. So we'll go through the process to collect the client's data. I'll then go through the compliance documents that you'll need to create. I'll then show you how to create the eDocs signature on your compliance documents. We'll then go through the broker tools, how to select the products, and then finally submitting your deal to Apply Online or Loan App. So let's get started by logging into our SFGconnect. Here we are looking on our home screen. We can see the workflow leads. On my workflow, I can locate my application and click into it. So we were working on Hannah Smith yesterday, and here I can see her application. If you can't locate your deal by looking on your workflow, what you can do is use the search feature over to the top left-hand corner. Type in the client's name and there you will find the results. There are two results that appear. The first one is the client info page, and the second one here is the deal application. So what we want to do is make sure we click onto the right results. So I want to work on the client application, so what I'll do is click on the one with the $sign. It will then take me to my application, and here I can see my deal view page. So this client would like to fill in their details online. So what I'll do now is share the client portal with them. So over to the top left-hand corner, I will click on the green icon, Share Deal on Client Portal. From the list, I will select the client, and then I will select the version. So there's two versions I can select from, full version and custom version. The full version will cover off all 9 categories of the data fact find, so I'll showcase that today. And just to make note that you must have the client's email and mobile number to share the client portal. If you don't have this information, then you won't be able to share it. Click on Share. Now what will happen is the client will receive an email. So let's go over into the client's inbox and review the email. So this is the email that the client receives. They will click onto the blue button and they will refer to their mobile phone for the PIN code that you've sent them. And click on Sign In. Here we are on the home screen of the client portal. Now the things that the client will be able to see will be the stages at the top. So here are the stages from our leads workflow, and the client can follow along and see how their application is progressing. Over to the left hand side will be the heading of the deal. Then you'll see the settlement date. And you'll be able to click on Edit My Profile to fill in their data. So if they click on the orange button now, it'll take them to their data fact find, and this is what the full version looks like. So it covers off 9 categories of the fact find. You will have the option to customize the headings, the categories that you want to share with the client in your settings. So you can possibly maybe reduce it to 3 categories or 6 categories, depending on how comfortable the client is filling in the fact find. You might want to make it as simple as possible or send them the full version like I have today. So as the client, what I'm going to do is go through and fill in a few details for the client here. Enter in a few mandatory fields. As you can see that on the data fact find, there's going to be a couple of mandatory options that we need to fill out. These are options that we need to work through the case scenario on the client. But there's not many around. What I'm going to do is quickly just skip over the fact find as much as possible. Everyone knows how to complete data using the fact find. So what I'll do is just complete the mandatory fields and skip over a lot of this information. As you can see, we're going through the various categories. Now we're in employment details for the client. We have a few mandatory fields we need to enter, such as the start date. And I'll go through and just quickly complete that data. So what I would suggest that you do when you log into your SFGconnect is maybe go through, create a dummy client and play around with the client portal in your own time. It's good to get familiar with it so that you know exactly what you need to help the client with should they have any issues with the fact find. But as you can see, it's quite easy and simple for anyone to complete. The client can fill in their details whilst on the train or the bus to work if they have any free time during their day. Then you go through the expenses. If they know the information, they can fill it in or they can skip across as well. So they'll have this green button whenever they reach a point in their fact find. They can click onto it to move on to the next category. If they don't have the details, they can skip over by selecting 0 and then bypassing most of the data entry. So today I wanted to show you what the full version looks like, but again, you do have the option to minimize the category. So you don't have to send them this full version if you don't feel comfortable doing that. And continue on. They'll go through their objectives, why they're seeking funds, what's their budget for buying a home, and continue on. So this is all information that you'll need as a broker to work on this scenario, and the more you have, the better it will be for the interview process. But otherwise, if they don't want to fill it in, they can skip over it as well. So here's me trying to skip over all of this data entry as the client would if they don't know the answers just yet. All right, and that brings us to the end of the fact find. And continue. So what happens now is the client will have one final view of the summary that they've entered. So here they can go through, update any details that they've entered, correct anything, add anything. They can use the list over to the left-hand side to start skipping across the different categories and adding any more data as they go. Over to the top of the list, you'll find the button Go to Home Screen, where the client will be able to click to come back to their home page. Now on their home page, the client will see the list of outstanding documents. So out of the 6 items that we've requested, we are still outstanding 5 documents from the client. And the documents will be listed as box on the page there. So for a client to upload their supporting documents, all they have to do is click onto one of the boxes, for example, the bank statements, click onto the cloud or drag and drop the files, search through their computer, find the supporting documents and add them. Click on Save to add the documents onto the application. So that's those documents added here, listed on our activities list here. So let's go through that process again. Click on one of the documents, click on the cloud, go through your database, find the document and save it. And there it is, added to application. So as the client gradually adds the documents, it will remove itself from the list and it'll show us only the outstanding items. So now it's showing 3 out of the 6 items that we need from the client. Now the other feature that the client has is the ability to send you a direct message. So clicking next to their initials, what they can do is send you a message into the application. So hi Deb, can we meet next week to discuss my options? Over to the right, click on post and now that comment will be added as well. So that's essentially it for the client portal, how the client will be able to review the statuses of their application by looking at the top of their screen here. They can go into Edit My Profile to fill in their fact find. They can click on these boxes to upload their documents, as well as sending you a direct message. So let's go back into the broker SFGconnect platform. What I'll do is refresh my screen here to show you how all of that information gets transferred across. Now on the deal view page, the items that come across here will be the comment from the client. So there's a comment there, date stamped, and also identifies the person that sent the comment. Then you can see the supporting documents, current pay slips, bank statements 1, 2, and 3 added, and it also shows me that the client provided those documents and date stamped. Now over to the right, what you'll notice is the client share portal icon is currently highlighted blue. So this indicates that these documents are currently shared with the client and they can see it in the portal. As you can see, not all items are highlighted blue. A lot of it is currently grayed out. So that is the difference that you can tell quickly as to which items are currently shared and which items are not. So you have full control over what the client can see. So for example, if I wanted to remove these supporting documents, all I need to do is click onto the icon, revert it back to the gray. As you can see there, it's all grayed out. The client will no longer have access to these documents. So let's test out that feature and go into the client portal. I'm going to refresh the client portal page and those documents there should disappear. And there it is. The documents are gone from the list. Let's go back into the broker SFGconnect platform. Now there's one final section that I need to show you around the client's details, and that is the fact find. So all of the fact find information is currently stored under the broker tools. So over to the left hand side, what you will find is the broker tools option. If you click onto the broker tools option, it will then take you to the client profile. Now there are going to be some cases where you're going to have clients that don't feel comfortable filling in the fact find online. So what you'll need to do as the broker is to come into this section under broker tools, client profile, and fill in all of the details here. So under client profile, enter in all of their data. Otherwise, if you are going through the client portal process, the information will actually transfer into the client profile for you. So I can go through the items that they've filled out. So they've selected the gender, the date of birth, they filled in their current address for me. So all of this information is already in the system where I can review and compare it against their supporting documents. There's a couple of things they've missed out on. So as the broker, I will go through and start updating the missing data. So I will have full master control over the data they've entered. So verifying, sometimes clients don't fill in the correct details, so you as the broker will need to verify, go through, make sure all the details matches their IDs and their supporting documents. So what you'll do is go through, fill in some more details. I won't go into too much details around data. Again, you'll know how to enter in these details in for your clients. So what I'll do is quickly scroll across and show you the general layout on how you'll be able to fill in the details. Click in next is the income. You can see there we've got client 1 and client 2 income added. If you need to add additional incomes to the scenario, there's these orange buttons at the bottom of your page here, and you can click on each item to add a section to update their income details. So you can see there, adding, and that's the additional incomes added. But for my scenario today, I don't need these incomes, so let's go ahead and delete them and continue. Go through their expenses, make sure they update it accurately and that you enter it in to your data fact find. Make your notes if you need to over to the right and continue on. Then you'll go through their assets, and adding the client's assets, you'll use the orange buttons on your screen here. So let's add a vehicle as an example. Go through, select the details, enter in the description, enter in the value, and then go through the additional questions if you would like. So have you discussed the additional warranty with the client? Selection not made. If you had this conversation, not discussed at this stage, tick the option there. Let's add another asset, this time a bank account. So here we are adding a bank account for the client, entering the mandatory fields. Again, you don't have to fill in all the details here, so you don't have to have BSB and account numbers. You can just be as general as you like, or you can be as thorough as you like. And continue. Go through the liabilities. Again, clicking on the orange buttons, you can add any liability to this section. So I'm going to click on credit card and start adding the credit card details here. So all I'm doing is just entering the lender and also the limit. As you enter in the limit, what you will find is that the total repayment has been automatically updated for you. And continue on. Needs and objectives, go through the details, make sure the client is completely clear about their financial goals in the future. Go through the questions here around purchasing property certificates. So these are all questions around the diversification tool. And if you want to know more about the diversification tool, refer to the video, Diversification and Opportunities. Then you'll go through, complete the financial situation questions, so answering yes or no for these questions, financial security details, answering low, medium or high at the interview with the client. And then finish off with the credit history questions and you're done. Then we'll move into the product requirements. So using the radio buttons, important, not important, do not want, select the options for the clients here. So whatever they would like for the product types, they can go through and select them here. Finally, the term sort, and you're done. Next. We have a section here where you can input the client's insurance details. So if they have any vehicle insurance, private health insurance, you can add them by clicking on any of these orange buttons to enter in the details, the policy numbers, the values, and then link it to the actual client by selecting the options from the drop-down list here. But for now, I'm not going to enter in any more data. I just thought I'll show you these orange buttons as well as how you can delete them along the way. Click on next. In the advisor section, you will then keep track of the accountant details, solicitor details, real estate details, as well as the financial advisor details. So it's a great way to keep everyone centralized in this one area where you can refer to and reach out to them if you're following up documents and statuses for your client. And click on next. So that essentially is it on the client profile data entry side of things. So we have gone through, completed all of these details from 1 to 9, 10, and we are now moving into the broker tools. So within the broker tools, the first step we need to do is enter in the security address. So in the first field here, what you can do is start entering the client's preferred address. As you type it in, you'll see the results appear and select the correct full address title. It then fills in most of the fields here for you. All you need to do is enter in the security value. Then you go through property type and zone and ownership. If you need to add additional security addresses, click on the orange button over to the top right hand corner to add them, and there's your second security option. You can mark one as sold and the other one set as primary if it's a bridging scenario. Otherwise, I'm just going to delete it. Now let's scroll through and click on next. Here we are in the funding worksheet. So it looks very familiar to your Quick Tools calculators from your library. It is exactly the same layout. This time it's actually linked to a deal. So you don't have to PDF this particular funding worksheet. It will automatically be saved under the application. So you'll go through and fill in the mandatory fields. All the other options have been selected for you. I'm going to go through with our scenario of 80% here. We have a deposit of $140, which then has a savings left over of $10,000. You can see that my scenario is a surplus. We can continue and into maximum borrowing. So in maximum borrowing, you'll see the lenders, the maximum borrowing amount, the turnaround time, and over to the last column, you will find the calculator. Now, if you are after the serviceability calculator for a lender, all you need to do is click onto the cloud. It will download that serviceability calculator. You can see there it's downloaded onto my desktop. And you can fill in the details on that spreadsheet to determine whether that client services for that particular lender. So at this point, you have an idea of which lender you're going with depending on the client's scenario, but you want to triple check that they will service for that lender. Clicking onto the cloud, you can do that here. Scroll down and next. You'll then complete your product result search. So from the lender list, either tick those boxes or select all. Go through the search criteria. Again, we have covered this demo in webinar 1. So what I'll do is just skip over the explanations and do my search. Here we have the results of my search criteria. We have the lenders, the products, initial rate, revert rate, upfront fees, annual fees, and monthly fees. If you'd like to review the details of a product, all you can do is click on to the product line and it will expand the details for you here. So all of this information you can review by clicking onto the product line. Click onto the product line again to minimize it. Now let's select a few products for our short list. Over to the right hand side, I will click onto the select button and add a couple of lenders and products to my shortlist here. And continue. So here we can see the products side by side. On this page, you can make changes to the interest rates. You can make changes to the fees as well. If you expand the fees section, you can update the fees. And at the bottom of each scenario, what you will find is the add split button. So you can see there, scenario 1, 2, and 3, there's an add split button. This is useful to note for when you have scenarios where a client wants a variable rate and a fixed rate product. So let's go and try and add a fixed rate product to scenario 1. Add split. It will bring up the search results on my screen. I will then select the fixed rate as my rate type. And then for my fixed term, I will select 2 years. As an example, click on search, and there's my 2-year fixed rate product on my screen. I will select this fixed rate product and add it to my scenario 1. What you'll notice is that the amount under my 2-year fixed rate is doubled. So I don't want to double my client's debt. What you need to do is ask the client what they would like under their fixed rate and what they would like under their variable rate. So it's not always 50-50, so you need to make sure you ask these questions so that you can adjust the amount accordingly per product. So there's my variable rate and there's my fixed rate added to scenario 1. You'll need to do the same for scenario 2 and 3 if you are going with the fixed rate scenario. Otherwise, I'll click on continue. Onto the next section, compare loan products. Now on the compare loan products page, what you will find is the option to set one product as your preferred. So you can tick a box to set one product as the preferred product. You'll also find the monthly repayment. So how much will this product cost the client per month? The upfront fees, the monthly fees, and the annual fees associated with those products. How much will cost the client over 3 years? And if you scroll down further, how much will cost the client over 30 years? The one highlighted in green will show you the most saved products. Out of 30 years, this product will save the client the most. At this point, what you'll be able to do is click on the Create Documents over to the top right-hand corner and create your documents around your funding worksheet and your product comparison. So tick in the boxes from the list, funding position and the product comparison. Click on Create. And if you watch the screen at the bottom middle section here, it will tell you that the document has successfully merged. So these documents will be saved in your deal view page, which I'll come back to and show you where those documents are saved. For now, let's continue on with the broker tools. Click on next. Here you'll need to select your commissions, and this is the commissions to advise the client how much you're getting paid for this particular deal. Click on next. You'll then complete the advice comments. So go through each section, enter in your answers here. For now, I'm just going to put in NA. If you scroll down the page, you'll then see the monthly financial position of your client, where you can discuss the current, the proposed, and the future buffer position. Scrolling down further, you'll then find the verifications list. So there it is. What you need to do is, from the options provided, select yes, no, or NA, just to confirm that you've done your duty and verified all of the supporting documents, the property, and also the employment checks as well. In your verification method section, you'll need to identify how you completed that. So we can say viewed the bank statement. So that's how we confirm their living expenses. And then we can say for income, viewed the pay slips, and so on and so on and so on. So add the descriptions of how you completed that search. Over to the right, date stamp when that happened. Once you're done with the list, scroll down to complete some more compliance questions, and we're almost done, guys. So the next section is the broker disclosure. So here's the variable rate. Confirm each of the risks have been explained to the clients. Yes, we have. With the variable rate, as the market changes, increases, the repayments will increase as well. Are there any conflicts between loans marked as important? No, there isn't. We haven't chosen a product that the client doesn't want. We have gone through, verified that this is the product that will help them reach their financial goals. And then the final conflict of interest of the application. No, there is no additional payments from the client doing this application. And then we've got the product suitability, and we have assessed it and it's not unsuitable for the client. And continue on. Next. In your summary page, you'll get to review the client's details, monthly financial position as a whole. So as a high-level overview of the application itself. Security, loan preferred that we've selected, the LVR graph, and the loan amortization graph here. Now at this point in time, what you can do is create the other compliance documents for the client. So over to the top right-hand corner, you'll see the Create Documents button. Click onto it. And from the list, you will now be able to create the credit proposal and preliminary assessment. Select Create, and you can see the bottom of my screen, documents successfully merged. So let's go back into our deal view, and I'll show you where these documents are saved. So you need to click onto the top of your list, back to deal view, and it'll take you back to your deal view page. And here we are on the page. We can see the credit proposal and preliminary assessment document, as well as the funding position and product comparison document for the clients. So there's a couple of ways we can share these documents with your client. You can click onto the icon over to the right, Share on Client Portal, and you can see there that it's highlighted blue, which means the client can now see these documents. The other method you can use is emailing the client. Over to the top right left-hand side of your screen, you can see the client's email address here. If you click onto it, select the first option. It opens up the email window where you can start emailing the client. So what you can do is start with the subject line, compliance doc. Hi Hannah and Sam, please see docs for your review, sign and return. And once you've entered in the subject and the content, the final action is to attach the documents. Okay, so from the list that you see down here, you will click onto the box next to the document that you want to send them, and then click on send. So that's it. The client will then receive the email with the attached document. So let's go through that process again. Clicking onto the client's email, select the first option, product report. Hi Hannah and Sam, please review the product comparison doc. And from the select documents, I will tick on the box, product comparison. Again, click on save. And the client will then receive the email with the documents attached. Now let's go through the process where we want to share the document online for the clients to sign electronically. So to go through this process, the electronic signature option, you'll need to be in your Documents tab here. So on your screen, you'll see this Documents tab. If you click onto it, it'll highlight green to show you that you're in this Documents tab. And if you scroll down the list, against the documents, you will find over to the right this button here, Request Signature. So if you click onto the Request Signature button, select Request. Don't worry about any of the settings. Leave it as is. And the document will appear on your screen. So what you'll need to do is insert the signature onto the document for them to sign. So let's go through that process and insert the signature. First thing, you'll need to scroll through the document itself into the section where you can see here the client needs to sign. At the top of your page, you'll see this option, Signature. If you drag and drop it down to the space for the client to sign, that's where they'll be able to sign electronically. The other thing you need to do is insert the date. So instead of them having to type in the date, they can use this automatic option and it'll date stamp their signature. So let's go through and do the same with Sam. Over to the top, drag and drop it onto your screen. But this time, being the second client, you'll need to select them from the list. So who fills this out? It's not going to be Hannah again. It's going to be the client, Sam. And there you can see Sam and Hannah. They each have their own color coded groupings as well. So there you go. First client, second client to sign the document. Once you've input the signatures and the date, you will click on Continue to email it to them. And that's it. The client has now been sent the document to sign. Let's go into the client's inbox and I'll show you what the email looks like. On the client inbox, they'll receive this email here. Hi Sam, can you please review the document and sign below? So the client will then click onto the blue button. The document will appear on their screen. So if it's on their mobile phone, their tablet or computer, that's the device they can use to sign off on the document. So from the document, the client will review the details. Yep, that's all good. Agree with all that. We've discussed this at the meeting, so happy with all the details. The client will then click onto the button, click to sign, and the client can then draw it in. They can insert their name, use an image, or use a smartphone ID. So whatever method they use, they click on insert, and that's their signature added to the document and date stamped automatically for us there. Click on Continue. They will agree to the terms of using the HelloSign platform, and that's it. The document has been signed off. So now let's go back into the broker CRM and I can show you how to submit your deal. So once you've received all of the signed copies of your compliance documents for your client, we can now go through the process and submit it to Apply Online or Loan App. Now to submit your deal, you'll need to go into your broker tools. So over to the left hand side, let's click into our broker tools. And on the list, you'll need to scroll all the way down to the very bottom of your list and select Lodgement. Once you select Lodgement, you'll now see this green button, Apply Online. If you click on Apply Online, create your application. That is your application created with that platform. So once you go into the Apply Online page, that is a completely different system. We don't manage that. So if you have any issues with Apply Online, you'll need to go through the Apply Online help desk. Okay, so everything before that step, we'll be able to help you through that process. But once you hit that create button application, you'll be directed to the other platform, which is Apply Online. I'm not going to click on that button to show you what that looks like because it is a live environment and I don't want to clog up the system with fake applications. It's not good for anyone. But when you do get to the point of submitting your deal, that is how you would do it. Go into the lodgement at the bottom of your list under broker tools, click on the green button, click on the orange button, and you're done. So that essentially brings us to the end of webinar 2, guys. Hopefully that's given you some idea on how you would use the CRM platform to collect the data, to go through your broker tools, complete your compliance documents, which is important, and then how you would submit your deal once you have completed all of the previous steps there. Thank you so much, guys, for your time today. I really hope that webinar 2 has given you a more end-to-end picture on how you would use the CRM to manage your applications. There are going to be a few more videos that we'll release in specific features of the platform because there's a lot that we haven't covered off in our webinars 1 and 2. So what I'll do is have shorter videos to showcase the different features. So a 20-minute demo on reports, for example, on the diversification opportunities and your settings as well. So keep an eye out for that and have a wonderful day. Bye.